The following story was posted on Reddit, and all credits belong to the original author. Special thanks to Reddit user HorrorQueen1212 for granting permission to use their story. Now then, do enjoy the show. Maggie had lived a spectacularly normal life until she was blinded at 19 in a freak accident. In a matter of moments, her life was altered forever. She had to learn how to live in this forever black world. The tools were out there, and she was given help, but no one could pretend it was easy. She was thankful for her best friend, Shannon, who stuck by her through everything. By the time they were in their mid-20s, they were living together in a tiny 2-bedroom apartment. Even though Maggie was much better at navigating her world, she would still stumble into things in the tiny space. She couldn't complain though. She was just happy to have a place where she belonged. Shannon got off of work 3 hours earlier than Maggie, so she would usually greet her when she got home. That night was different. It was a night that would last forever for Maggie. She had gotten off of work and made it into the apartment. She shuffled her way through the pitch-black world, waiting to hear the voice of her best friend. It never came. Maybe Shannon went out and forgotten to tell her. Maybe she had gone to bed early. Maggie walked the memorized path to Shannon's room. She obviously couldn't see anything, but she didn't hear anything either. She walked forward to the bed and reached out a hand. She gently placed her hand on Shannon's arm, hoping she wouldn't wake her. Shannon stayed unmoving, letting Maggie know that she hadn't woken her up. She quietly walked out of the room and went into her own. She got ready for bed and fell into a peaceful slumber. When Maggie woke up the next day, she could tell she had slept in. She couldn't see the light shining through her window, but she just had a feeling she slept in that Saturday morning. She stretched her arm and pushed the button on her specialized alarm clock. An electronic voice said, "It is 12:35 p.m. Maggie was shocked. Shannon was an early riser, and try as she may to keep quiet, she would always accidentally wake up Maggie by 9 at the latest. She sat up in bed and called out to Shannon, but no reply. She walked to her friend's bedroom and reached down on the bed. She shook the girl under the covers, but she didn't budge. Scared, she shook harder, but to no avail. She could feel something sticky on her hands, but couldn't place what it was. As she tried to wake her friend, her hand shifted to Shannon's uncovered shoulder. She screamed. It was ice cold. She stumbled in shock and grabbed her phone, calling 911. When the paramedics arrived, she could hear their gasps of horror. She was ushered out of the apartment. Her questions of, "What is it?" went ignored. The only thing she could get out of them was that Shannon was dead. "How can you tell? You were only there for a moment. How do you know she's not still alive?" she asked desperately. One of the paramedics made a comment under his breath. "You don't need to feel for a pulse when you walk into a scene like that." The other paramedic, a lady, shushed him, but it was too late. "What scene?" Maggie asked. All she got in return was silence and the feel of somebody rubbing her shoulder. Soon, she could hear the sound of police sirens, leaving her with a sense of dread and even more questions. It took many hours, but when she finally got some answers, she regretted asking. Shannon was laying dead in her bed. Her neck had been slit all the way until bone was visible. The stickiness on Maggie's hands was some of the overflowing blood from her best friend's body. According to detectives, she had been dead for around 16 hours, meaning she had been killed around the time Maggie had gotten home. It looked like the murder had actually happened in the kitchen, and the killer had moved the body into the bed. This fact sickened Maggie the most. It meant Shannon had already been dead when she had checked on her the previous night. The fact that she had unknowingly slept a room away from her best friend's corpse was haunting to her. Detectives believed this was the act of the haircut killer, or HCK, due to the fact that a large section of her hair appeared to be braided and cut. HCK was at large, and Maggie believed that she wouldn't find peace until he was caught. She never thought his capture would lead to more distress. It was almost 5 years later when the man was apprehended. His name was Charles Davos, and he had killed 23 women. The story was all over the news. Davos gave a 2-hour interview that was broadcasted on basic cable. Maggie tuned in wanting answers. Her whole world came to a stop as Davos spoke about his most memorable murder. He had just killed a woman and put her in her bed and was starting to braid her hair. Suddenly, her roommate had come into the apartment and then the room. He was ready to kill her when he realized that she was blind by the way she wasn't making eye contact. She walked in on the crime scene without even realizing she was in danger. He laughed as he recalled the tale. Maggie didn't laugh.